Hello! Welcome back to Flip Flop Gaming. Dan here. Thanks for joining. We're back at our Super Metroid Let's Play for Episode 3. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the show. In our last episode, we briefly entered into Norfair just to get the high jump boots for our suit. We then left Norfair to go defeat our first major boss, Kraid, which was a giant lizard. After his defeat, we got the Varia suit, which enabled us to go into some hot rooms in Norfair, so we went back down there. And we got a couple beam attachments. We got the wave beam, which allows our beam to travel through walls. And we also got the ice beam, which freezes enemies. In addition to that, we got the speed booster, which grants us the ability to run really fast. And that being said, let's jump back in. So now, the way we got to this room is actually different than how you're typically supposed to get here. And let me show you something. So if we look at that, that is a speed booster block, and these are speed booster blocks. So normally, if you're playing the game the correct way, where we got the ice beam, there was that bit of floor that we couldn't get through just yet. Well, there is an item that gets you through those. We haven't gone there yet, but that gets us to this other entrance to this area. But we kind of bypassed that. So yeah, we're just going to jump right in here and see what we find. Oh, and that sounds like boss music. And we're really just trying to back this guy up. There we go. Simple as that, but I went through almost all of my missiles. That's unusual. What is this? What are these bubbles down here? That's weird. Nope, and the music's back. I wonder what that means. Phase 2. Just kidding. He did. Yeah, we'll eventually want Grapple to get over there. Yeah, timed that pretty poorly. But yeah, that was a nice little shortcut. We gotta skip a lot, and actually, believe it or not, there's something else we can skip here. Yeah, see, this is a great way to get all of our resources back. You can see what we're doing here. This might take a couple tries. There we go. Now, that creature up there, he's also kind of acts as a grapple block, so we would typically be able to grapple him. So you normally need the grapple to get in here, but we just got the next enhancement without that. So we now have the power bomb, which is a much stronger bomb, and if you'll look at the logo, you probably recognize it from some of the blocks that we've seen before. So yes, that is the next item that we need to get to bypass through some doors and some blocks. So all the orange doors that we've been seeing so far, those are power bomb doors. So now that opens up even more in the game that we can get through. And yeah, nothing in there. That's a super missile gate that we have to be on the other side for. And we just fell a long way, so that's cool. I wonder if we'll be able to get back up. Oh no. Yeah, I'm just gonna run. I think this is just missiles, probably. Yep, more missiles. Love to see it. Okay. Oh yes. Alright, first view of the power missile. What does it do? Yes, power missile. No, power bomb. So yeah, just, as you might guess, just makes a big explosion. But yeah, we're going to do something fun here. So when I was talking before about the speed booster and how that works with jumping, so we'll be able to see that in action here. We can jump really far. And now we get our next helpful tool, the grappling beam. So the grappling beam is a little tricky to work with. I don't ever really do it that correctly. It looks pretty good, but for the most part, I kind of just cheese it. I'll explain what I mean when we get to some other parts of the planet. But yeah, sometimes it can look alright, but other times I feel like I do it kind of in a really funny way. And you can use it to open doors, which is nice. Yeah, so you can see how slow we move in the water, actually. So that's how I use it. I get as close as possible to the next block and then just hit it again. You can move pretty quick that way, but it's not the way it was intended. Okay, let's hit our save here again, just because we like saving. So let me show you what this guy does. So depending on where you grapple him, he just stops. So the tricky part about him is that he's moving, whereas a normal grapple block is stationary. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna cheese this a little bit. It's just a little bit faster that way. And here's a great example of how I do grapple incorrectly. It still works. Looks a little funny, but definitely not how it was intended. And I don't care. Alright, map, and where are we? I could go that way, but I don't think that really gets us much of anything. I'm going to go up, I think. We just saved it, This is, I think, the first save that I'm bypassing. Not that that means anything, but I just don't feel like saving again. And you might remember this is where we came down from the main shaft area and we saw that locked super missile gate. So now we're on the other side of it, so we can come back through. And this gets us back out here to the main area. I think this is our map. Yep, here's our map. So let's see what they've got in the map database. So yeah, we can see over to the left, we've got that area. We're actually going to go there in just a second, just to kind of show the real way of getting to that boss area that we just completed. But yeah, let's head back out here. So the last fun thing about the grapple is that you can also kill enemies, and not only can you kill them, well, unfortunately that didn't give me a good example, but you can grapple the items that the enemies drop. So you can kill them with that. Some enemies you can kill them, not all of them, but you can kill them with the grapple, and then you can suck up the items that they drop as well. Okay, now I think this is, yeah, this is just another running room. So you'll see right where we end up. There it is. So that's how we're supposed to get here. You're supposed to already have power bombs when you come down that area, but we just decided to skip it. Okay. And we've got one more thing to do. See, I'm gonna head back this way, I think. Yeah, let's do that. So at the end of this area was where we needed the grapple to continue. I wasn't gonna go there, but I think there is still another item I want to grab. So we're gonna go back and grab that. And that's what getting caught by those pincher guys is like. Kind of sucks. And that's also how bad I am at the grapple. Now, we don't need to go in there yet. We will eventually in a while, a long while, but that'll be later in the game. So for now, we're gonna head back over here. There's just one item I want to get, and then we can head back up to other parts of the game. So this is one of those times when we're just kind of going back to places we've already visited, just because we got one new tool, suit enhancement, whatever it is, that opens up different areas. So a little bit of repetition in there, but luckily the game is not super large, so it doesn't take all that long to get back to previously visited places. Now, if I would have fallen there, that would have been very annoying. But luckily I didn't. Okay, so I'm actually glad I came here, because it's not just a missile container that we get. I'm just going to stand in the lava for a second, because I like it. More missiles. And look, more missiles. This is something new. This is our first reserve tank. So we'll find a few more of these in the game. And basically, this will fill up. You can see that auto flag in the upper part of the screen. And then now we've got our auto or manual, so this will hold an extra 4 energy tanks worth of health, and if we end up depleting all of our energy slash health, or HP that I've also called it, the reserve tanks will actually empty into our main energy tanks, so we get a little even more of a buffer. So think of us as having 5 energy tanks now instead of 4. Actually, I guess we have even one more than that because we started with 99 health. Okay, so now we are just looking to get out of Norfair because we're basically done here. For now. Almost there. Okay, one last double check. I think that is everything I wanted to get right now. Yep. Let's go. Now from here, we're actually going to be going back a slightly different way. We're not just going back to the ship. We are going to go a different route. However, we will end up back at the ship. So we're gonna loop through, pick up a few items that we couldn't get before. Oh, of course I'd get hit by him. But if you remember, we couldn't come back this way before because we didn't have the ice beam. So now what we can do is we can freeze these guys and use them to climb back up that long shaft. And this is that little creature that I didn't want to bother before. It's not a big deal, but just kind of annoying because they'll jump on you and attach to you and just bug. They bug. The bugs bug. again. Okay, what's in here? Oh yeah, that's right. Got a little ahead of myself. Now we have the X-ray scope. So this is that tool that you can use when you're first playing the game. This is how you find all those secrets in the game. So when I open it up, you can see, oh, that block looks different. So that is going to be what a bomb block looks like. So we can just use the regular bomb and get through that. And then you can see how the pathway there is actually invisible. So we can actually see which blocks we can walk through and which ones we can't. So that's the really helpful thing about the X-ray. So let's get in here and just see. So just for the sake of seeing it, that's our little corridor we're going through now. And that block is a block that you just fall through. We've already encountered a lot of those. So yeah, that's how you find all the secrets. But unfortunately that requires searching in a lot of random rooms. But I've saved you from a lot of that trouble. So you're welcome. Okay, so instead of going back to the left, we're now going to go up. Because before we couldn't do this because we didn't have the high jump boots. Now that we have the high jump boots, we're going up. I'd rather have those enemies as platforms rather than things that just get in the way. Now, if memory serves correct, yeah, so this is actually supposed to be where you get power bombs first, but we don't really care about following those rules. We play by our own rules. I don't remember if there's anything behind. Oh, look at that, there is. So you get power bombs, and then you immediately get to use it if you think about it. If you don't, well, I guess you're coming back to this area later. Alright, secret, secret, secret. This game is full of secrets. And I am just gonna save it here, just for the heck of it. Let's see, more items to get here, I'm sure. Oh yeah, these are big jumping guys. Big jumping bros. Now, let's just see if there's anything. Yeah, so this actually tells us it's a power bomb. So yeah, after you get the X-ray, you just have to think of using it in whatever rooms, and then you can get all kinds of stuff. When in doubt, use the X-ray. Good rule of thumb. Okay, now we're done with this area. And just so you can see, this is where we're coming in. So our ship is to the left, actually. So we originally went down this elevator, and now we're coming back on this other side here. And then you can see this blue area is going to be where we're going next after we fill in some missing items. Okay, so we are going to do a little bit of running here. Actually, I'm just going to go straight into hopefully another secret area, if I jump at the right time. Yep, that should do it. So yeah, how would you ever find that? That's a great question. I don't know. I don't remember how I originally found it. But we do need a lot of power bombs in this area, so I'm glad we found a bunch. Yeah, get out of here. Ain't nobody got time for that. Alright, another energy tank. This is perfect. And that's not all we can do here. Yep, there is even more to this secret here. Just gotta get through all these walls and lava. We're almost there. Alright, here we go. Now this part is a little tricky. There's actually two separate sets. So if I jump on the left set of two, those will collapse. Or the right set of two, those will collapse separately, but they won't collapse at the same time. So I might be able to get it where I'm right in the middle and can collapse both, and there's a very good reason I want to do that. So let me just see. Yeah, okay, I nailed it. And that's why. If we chose one path or the other, we wouldn't have the opportunity to get both missiles here. So I'm going to jump over, go over to this one, and we got both of them. Otherwise, I'd probably go back and go through this whole sequence just to get both of them. But now we don't have to, so that's excellent. Alright, and if you look on our map, you can actually see where we're coming down. So we kind of bypassed that whole first part of the game, and now we're taking this little shortcut here. Alright, this will be a good stopping point for our third episode. Thank you so much for watching, and as usual, if you enjoyed the show, please like, subscribe, and stay tuned to see how our adventure continues.